going. I'm going to give a narrative about a lesson. It is a lesson that I would give to one student based on an IEP goal, which I will share with you. I believe my partner, critical friend partner is Catherine. Right. So I'll give you the lesson plan, and I have a few extra copies. I want to say, I may seem like I know a little bit about special ed, but I'm one of 20 of us in the program, and I do not know what you guys know. I admire you so much. Last time I took math and science was in high school. I like this Benjamin Franklin quote. I think we should all live by that and involve students more in it. I will describe student A to you. She is a student I teach in a middle school, all-inclusive class, meaning we have the most severe kids, most severely affected. You will probably not see them in any one of your classes, but you will see the type of special ed kid that is less affected, that is immersed in and out of a resource room. Actually, I have some facts and figures I wanted to share with you about special ed. 15% of our kids, age 3 to 18, have what's called DD, and there are more acronyms in education than we know, right? 15% have developmental disorders, which include ADHD, autism spectrum disorders, which is the new name for high-functioning autism. Well, high-functioning autism is the new name for Asperger's. They can have an intellectual disability, vision impairment, hearing impairment, etc. 1 out of 42 boys has autism, 3 times more prevalent in boys than girls. So you will be affected by these kids, and you should know a couple of things that I know. The student A that I'm talking about is a lively and engaging 13-year-old. She has been diagnosed with autism, rapid cycling, manic depression, bipolar, whatever name you want to call it, oppositional defiance disorder. During good days and moments, she gets off the bus, she's smiling, she's running out, Miss Lynn, my dog snuggled with me this morning, or whatever it is. She's in your face, she's super loud, that's normal for her, that's a good morning. She comes in the class, she's running, and we're like, walk in the halls. She's running, and she unlocks her locker, and she puts her things in her cubby, and she has to say hi to everybody. Hi, Miss Lynn, Miss Terry, Miss Liz. It's a whole drama scene. Let me give an example. After she has done her, and I gave you an example of what I want to call posture. I asked you to stretch. Stretching is something some people do when they enter a classroom, right? They might get a drink of water, they might stretch, say hi to their neighbor. Eventually, we all settle in to our seats, move my belt, get my feet under me, might have my laptop, might have a paper, might have a pen. I am now in posture. This is what it looks like for me, Lynn Palzer, to learn. You have your legs crossed. That might be what it looks like for you. Student A, I'm going to show you a couple of tools we use in special ed occasionally. She uses this seat called a fidget seat. It's about 16 inches in diameter. She also uses this therapy band, which wraps around the bottom legs of her chair. She can wiggle her feet in it, out of it, bounce them onto it, whatever. So she's in her seat, and on a good day, she'll sit down, student A. She'll have her pencil and paper out to get ready for first period. She's wiggling, she fidgets, provides self-stimulation that her brain's not giving her. She's currently not taking medication. She's shifting from mood-altering medication. It's a long story. She kind of wiggles her legs like this. Her back's a little hunched. She's ready. When she's not ready, it's like that. She's getting ready for a fight. So we know what that looks like. You'll know what your students look like. Every student is slightly different. And some kids you'll allow certain things, other kids you won't. On a good day, she's instructed, and the lesson plan shows the lesson for her, this is our classroom, large whiteboard, 24 inches by 36. We write this every day. It changes every day. We create our own periods. There are no real periods in special ed. We do follow the bell schedule, however. Her instruction in the lesson plan is to be seated in posture. Again, that might take. If she's coming off the bus crying on a bad day, complaining about a variety of body aches and pains, what she wants is attention, adult attention, and work avoidance are her two motivations. So we might have to take her aside and listen to her and talk her out of it and encourage her to get back in her seat. She can earn an extra ticket, reward ticket for the end of the day. Finally, we get her into her seat. The expectation is that she will write down, with an aide sitting by her schedule for the day. And we usually have her list 1 through 7. And we say first period for her is actually math. So we say, don't write reading, write math. And we might have to write it on a portable whiteboard, M-A-T-H. She does not know how to spell, but she can copy letters. So we lead her through this. Maybe one day instead of, or for exercise here, we have sport court instead of the track. Whatever it is. Her lesson plan is to write from a prompt with as many prompts from, say, me as it takes. Often I'll come over and she'll look at me, and I'll just say, hey, you're topic twisting. Focus, we need to get through this. The sooner you get through it, the sooner you can do math in a free time. This process can take 10 to 45 minutes. She might begin to cry. She's frustrated, maybe mom and she had a fight. She has stabbed her mom. She has bitten her mom. She has scratched her mom. She's the only student, not only have we done a functional behavior analysis for her misbehaviors, we have a behavior intervention plan, which are things we can do to prevent what cranks her up. We also have what's called an aversive plan, which is rare. She's the only student of the 9 that we have one. It details who can touch her, how we can touch her, how we can escort her, if we can put her in our lockable quiet room, for how long, what do we say when she's in there. It goes extremely specific because of liability, and her parents are litigious. And we finally got the aversive plan even without the parent's signature. Because prior to it, we had to evacuate the classroom when she was throwing desks, throwing staplers. We couldn't touch her, we had to let her destroy the room. When she ran out of the room, we'd have to get in front of her and block her like basketball. We couldn't touch her. There is a Good Samaritan law where you can grab a kid, even if you are not trained or not part of the personnel, if it's for your safety or their safety. Any questions so far? I know this looks elementary. It's actually 8th grade. There are kids, and she's one of the more functional ones in our class. 5 out of 8 cannot speak. One is in a wheelchair. Her 2 goals, every child has an IEP plan. That is the living, breathing document, the legal document that must be followed and is generally agreed upon by a team, a teacher, special ed teacher, gen ed teacher, principal, the therapist. We could have occupational therapy, vision therapy, speech language pathology therapy, and the student's parents. And if the student's old enough, they'll be sitting in on that IEP meeting also. And this, again, is one of the goals that was agreed upon. And I'll actually read it to you. I have my glasses. Again, it's specific, it's measurable, and it has a from and a to and all that. And I think they are so convoluted the way these are written that they have to be written this way. I was actually data manager, so took data on all the kids' goals, and I finders for each one. And I was like, well, what does this say? Help me understand it. Her IEP goal, it's a benchmark goal, is an adaptive goal. When student A is given a list of directions and or tasks, student will improve her reading comprehension from 5 or more prompts to fewer than 2 or fewer prompts a day. Student will demonstrate comprehension by performing the directions and or the task indicated from 1 out of 5 days successfully to from 1 out of 5 days to 4 out of 5 days successfully, as collected by teacher or aide, collected data for 5 consecutive days in September 2014, and again in April 2015. So you have the from and the to, collect data a week in the fall, a week